Hello everyone, my name is Joseph and welcome back to the Popsicleknight channel. In this build, we'll be showcasing Shiftry from the Lost Zone set, but with a lot of staple cards that make the Lost Zone deck so consistent about to rotate out, such as the Scoop Up Net and Oranguru. Will this mechanic still hold up to its current deadly reputation? Let's find out. Just as a challenge, I'll be putting a handicap to myself by not using Scoop Up Net and Oranguru. It will be a bit of a challenge to put cards in the Lost Zone since Lost Zone builds rely much of its setup on Comfey, with this flower selecting ability. Once during your turn, while this Pokemon is in the active spot, you can look at the top 2 cards of your deck and put one in the Lost Zone and the other in your hand. This helps to thin out your deck by drawing extra cards as well as putting cards in your Lost Zone. But without a Scoop Up Net, you cannot take it out of play to reuse its ability. However, you can still try to set up as much Comfey as you can at the start of the game, and just switch between all of them to use their abilities. I am using Escape Ropes and also regular switches since we also have Evolution Pokemon in this build. Otherwise, you can use the switching cards for all basic Pokemon in your deck. But Shiftry actually helps out tremendously when setting up your cards in the Lost Zone. While it is a stage 2, you can attack with it for a single grass energy, and we'll be using it more for its Tearing Gust attack, which deals 210 damage. And then you have to put this card and everything attached to it on the Lost Zone. The 210 damage is actually pretty decent, giving you a strong single price attacker in your deck, and you can even increase this attack further with the help of Choice Belt, which adds 30 more damage against a Pokemon V. And this card will also go in the Lost Zone after you attack. The only problem though is that after attacking, you'll have to switch one of your other Pokemon from your bench into the active spot, and this can leave you open for an attack, which is why we have a copy of Miltank with the Miracle Body ability, which prevents attack damage done to it by Pokemon V, so at least we'll have a deterrent against most attackers. To add further cards in your Lost Zone, you will need to dig through your deck for those Colress's Experiment supporter cards. When you play this card, you can look at the top 5 cards of your deck, put 2 of them in the Lost Zone, and the other 3 cards you choose will go into your hand. This will really help you draw into more cards and also put cards in your Lost Zone. But then you can recover this card again from the discard pile thanks to Baynet with the Puppet Offering ability. Once during your turn, you can recover one supporter card from your discard pile back to your hand, but then you put Baynet and ship it to the Lost Zone. So not only can you recover a supporter card, you will again put more cards in the Lost Zone. I have to say that this has such a powerful and useful ability, but it's so underappreciated right now. I have a feeling we'll see more of it post-rotation. And of course, adding cards in the Lost Zone will help you to have access to use more powerful Lost Zone cards. For example, apart from Shiftry, we'll also be using Cramorant as an attacker. Thanks to its ability, Lost Provisions, with 4 cards in the Lost Zone, you can attack with it for free. And it has the Spit Innocently attack that can deal 110 base damage. And then we have the infamous Sableye, more for its Lost Mine attack. As long as you have 10 or more cards in the Lost Zone, for a single energy, you can spread 12 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. The effect of this attack is so powerful that you may even knock out multiple opponents. And then you can also use the Mirage Gate item card. With at least 7 cards in your Lost Zone, you can use this card to accelerate 2 different basic energy type from your deck onto your Pokemon in any way you like. And finally, you can also use Fantina. With at least 10 cards in your Lost Zone, your Pokemon will take 120 less damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon V. With that defense, you can think of it as if your opponent needs to hit Cramorant for 230 damage before they can deal a one-hit knockout against it, or they have to hit Sableye for 200 damage for a knockout. So this card can actually be very useful sometimes, but unfortunately do keep in mind that this only works against Pokemon Vs. It is worth noting that you can also utilize the Lost Vacuum to add more cards in your Lost Zone. Of course, it's hard to fit all of that in this deck, especially with all the components needed for the Stage 2 Shiftry. But without it, the Lost Vacuum will be a great addition to your Lost Zone builds, and it's also great for removing your opponent's stadium or tool cards. The rest of the cards in this deck though is pretty much self-explanatory. I think the main takeaway for this build is that it clearly shows that there are still so many ways to quickly set up cards in your Lost Zone even after post-rotation, and then it's just a matter of which Pokemon you want to include in your Lost Zone build. Overall though, I think Shiftry is actually really awesome. Anyways, that's pretty much it. You can find the complete decklist in the description below, and now please enjoy the following gameplay videos showcasing Shiftry and the post-rotation Lost Zone mechanic. Before we get into the video, I just want to give a shout out and thank you to our newest sponsor and friend to this channel, TCGVee. Users will be able to buy and sell Pokemon TCG online codes with each other instantly, and there are 0 selling fees on the site, so please be sure to show your support to TCGVee. Links will be in the description below. Alright, let's get right into our first match. We are going first. And we're going to start with a C dot in the active spot. We can actually evolve into a Shiftry because we do have Rare Candy in our hand, but no grass energy to attack. And speaking, we actually got one from our top deck, so we can now attack on our next turn. But if we do, we go straight to the Lost Zone, and then we'll lose this game because we won't have any other Pokemon in our bench. So Hopefully on our next turn we can use Colress Experiment, but if we can get a next turn, right? Because we're also going against a Lost Zone deck, and if my opponent gets 4, because they use 2 with Colress Experiment, if they manage to get 2 more cards in the Lost Zone with Comfey. No, they whiffed it, bro. We survived to live another day. That is insane. Okay, cool. They didn't get 4 cards in the Lost Zone, because usually most Lost Engine, if they can get the right cards, they can actually get 4 cards and attack with Cramorant on their very first turn. So I'm just gonna grab Comfey, and let's see what we got here with Colress Experiment. We got Shiftry, Sableye, and another Colress Experiment. We can spare those 2 other cards in the Lost Zone, and we have 2 so far. We can actually put 3 if we attack with Shiftry. So we could do that. So evolve into a Shiftry, put Sableye in play, and I think I'm just gonna attack this Comfey with Tearing Gust for 210 damage. That puts 3 in our Lost Zone. We get a prize for that. We got a switch. So now we have 5 cards in our deck after our second turn. I gotta admit, it's a little bit slower to set up post rotation, because the Scoop Up Net is rotating out. There's really no way for us to reuse Comfey's ability. So what I did is actually just put a bunch of switching cards in this deck and hopefully get your Comfey set up. And you're really relying more on the Shiftry setup and also the Bayonet. So with this Colress Experiment, I think I'm going to go with these 3. Avery can go well in this matchup in case my opponent bench more Pokemon. But we also can survive another turn with Radiant Venusaur because it has 150 HP. And with no Comfey for my opponent to set up more Lost Zone cards, they might not be able to accelerate energy to their Duraludon. So I'm going to use this Mirage Gate to get Grass Energy on Venusaur and 1 energy to our Sableye. We're still a few cards away from using Sableye, so we're just going to go with what we have so far. At least a Radiant Venusaur will survive an attack from their Cramorant. It's only hitting for 110 damage. Thankfully, Venusaur has 150 HP. We got a Quick Ball from our top deck, which is really good. I'm going to use Avery first to draw 3. And let's see, I can actually use this Quick Ball to get a Cramorant. I just need to get ahead in the prize exchange. We might be able to knock out their Duraludon if we can set up another Shiftry. But for now, I think evening up the price exchange, or at least getting ahead of it, is going to go a long way. So we're just going to attack with Cramorant, dealing 110 damage, exactly what we need to knock out theirs. And we get another Cramorant. Okay, so as of right now, both of us are relying on our Cramorants to deal some damage here. Spit innocently for another prize for our opponent. It's just like a prize exchange here. Both can just easily knock out each other's Cramorant. This is crazy. I'm gonna set up another C-Dot, and I'm just gonna hard retreat into Cramorant, get another prize here. I could actually use my right hand to accelerate an energy. Let me just put an energy on Radiant Venusaur and put the other energy to Sableye. So we'll have another attacker ready to go. And I could get a Grass Energy. We just need Rare Candy. So I'm just going to use Spit instantly here. Get another prize for that. We are definitely on a roll here. Slowly but surely. We have a level ball. I can actually get the stage 1 for Shiftry and just take it slow until we are able to deal a strong hit against this Duraludon. We only need 3 more prizes anyways. But for now, we can actually attack with Radiant Venusaur. Since we are able to confuse this guy as well, they might not be able to successfully attack. So I'll just get Nuzleaf, evolve into stage 1. But for now, I'm going to... I can use Mirage Gate to accelerate grass energy to my Shiftry line if I need to. Let's go ahead. Ooh, one more. So I'm actually going to do that and then just attach this grass for turn on Venusaur to get this Pollen Hazard attack against their Duraludon VMAX. So now it's Poisoned, Burnt, Confused, and we get to draw 2 extra cards with Venusaur's ability. And 120 damage is actually not bad. So now my opponent has a 50% chance of getting away, or alright, they're just gonna switch. So they're gonna pivot out. They have the energy to retreat with Luminion V, and they're just gonna attack to knock out my Radiant Venusaur. But let's see, how can we win this? We can evolve into a Shiftry. Use Serena. Discard these Manaphy. Draw. Alright. Wait a minute. We can knock out this guy. Let's just go ahead and use Tearing Gust for 240 damage. Getting our last 3 prize. I didn't even realize we had what we needed. That's insane. Alright. Good game. Alright, let's move on to our next match. We get to go first again. Nice. Alright, we're gonna mulligan. We don't have any basic Pokemon in our hand. And alright, we got 2 C-Dots that we can set up. Can get Comfey with our Level Ball. And we're going up against a Mew VMAX build. Alright. It's gonna be an interesting match. Let's get a Comfey. You can switch out. Sacrifice 1 energy for a Venusaur. And then switch into Comfey. Attach 1 energy to our C-Dot. Flower selecting. Ooh. Shiftry definitely will play a good part here. Miltank, not so much, because once they evolve into a Mew VMAX, they can actually attack and just get through that defense. No problem. So they can. The Mew VMAX can easily beat Miltank. Go through its ability. So we got another Comfey. We have Escape Rope, and we can get more cards in the Lost Zone with our 2 Comfeys. But let's see if my opponent can attack this turn. Okay, they're gonna use the Forest Seal Stone to get a Battle VIP Pass. Speaking of Battle VIP Pass, a lot of Lost Zone builds use that, but I don't use it. It's just very cumbersome in my opinion. That's why I just put a bunch of level balls, and yeah, you won't get the Pokemon you need in the very first turn, but it really depends. If you don't get in your very first turn, you won't get it anyways, and you won't be able to use it the rest of the game. And it's going to be a lot harder post-rotation because Oranguru is also rotating out, so it's not going to be easy to put a Battle VIP Pass from your hand to the top of your deck and then, you know, use it as fodder, putting it in the Lost Zone if you have Comfey to use its ability. So no more of that control. That's why I think having Level Ball is great, because you can use it at any time you have it in your hand. Battle VIP Pass, it's good when you get it in the start, but if you don't, it's just gonna fill your hand with garbage basically. So I don't know, maybe other players see it differently, but that's my viewpoint on it. That's why having Level Ball is great in this deck, I think. So my opponent does not attack just yet on their first turn, so what we're going to do is just continue to use our flower selecting and continue to put cards in the Lost Zone. We're going to put Nuzleaf, unfortunately, but Rare Candy is a lot better because we can actually attack this turn and get a knockout against their Mew V. Thankfully, we have Avery. It's a very disruptive card against Mew VMAX builds, because Mew VMAX builds rely on a full bench. That way they can draw a lot of cards with their Genesect Vs. But with Avery, you have them discard 2. They discard 1 Genesect and also their Meloetta. and just gonna set up our Bayonet line. Evolve into a Shiftry, and we're gonna take a knockout here. Put 1 energy to our other C-Dots, and we're gonna get our first 2 prizes against their Mew V. Get a knockout, put more cards in the Lost Zone, and go from there. I'm gonna use Level Ball, see what we can use here. I can get Sableye, get that ready. And Tearing Gust for 210 damage. And we're gonna switch back to our Comfey. We have 2 anyways. They may knock it out, but we can just switch into another Comfey. We got a Mirage Gate. That is crazy. We have very limited attackers as of right now. So really having Shiftry as a strong attacker is great. That's one thing that you can use in this deck too, which speeds up the process of putting cards in the Lost Zone. We have 5 in the Lost Zone so far, but I think Lost Zone builds is still gonna be a really strong mechanic moving forward after rotation, because you can still mix up a lot of Pokemon, put it in this deck, and then use the Mirage Gate item card to accelerate those odd type energies and still be able to be on top, because if you're hitting for weakness, you have these Pokemon in your deck that can go against top tier meta decks. You can definitely use that to accelerate energies to those Pokemon and win games. So we have 6 cards in the Lost Zone. 1 more to use our Mirage Gate. We got our Bayonet. Alright, we got 7 now. If we use Bayonet, that's going to be 9. And then we need 1 more to be able to use Sableye. So we could do here. Yeah, we don't have Color's Experiment to get from the deck. If we had it, that would be nice. We can start using Sableye to knock out their... or start... use Sableye to start attacking. But that's okay, because the Lost City is going to put it in danger anyways. If they knock it out, we're going to lose it. So... alright, we're just going to use Bayonets, and then we can draw with Avery. And I think I'm just going to attack with Cramorant this turn. Yeah, we had little choice but to use that Avery to draw 3 extra cards. Color's Experiment would have been better, but that's alright. Now we can deal an initial damage against this Genesect V. Bro, we got another Sableye. I think this is going to go a long way when we start spreading damage with Sableye. So we're just going to save that. Serena seems like a good card to keep though. That was a hard decision to make, but I think Sableye is the best option, because having only 1 and that Lost City there, we might lose all of our Sableye if we don't save it. So I'm gonna use Mirage Gate, put a Grass Energy on Radiant Venusaur and 1 energy on Sableye, and we're just gonna spit innocently. I put 1 energy on our Comfey, because once they knock out our Cramorant, I can just pivot into Comfey and go from there. Because I'm still thinking whether or not to attack with Sableye. I can attack their Meloetta, and that's gonna leave us with 3 prizes left. We just have to take care of this Mew VMAX and win the game, right? But if we can evolve into a Shiftry, we can actually finish it off if we need to. Deal that 210 damage. It already has 110 damage to it, so we're really close. You can take care of that Meloetta for 1 prize and then just finish off their Mew VMAX with Shiftry. Alright, let's pivot into Comfey. Okay. Got a Fantina from the top deck. Quick Ball. I think I'm gonna go for the Choice Belt. That's gonna increase our damage. Okay, let's go for Color's Experiment first. Get a Cramorant, Rare Candy for sure. And then we could still use Shuppet, but I don't know, Shuppet. Don't think we need Shuppet right now. So I'm just gonna go with the switch. And then I can even just attack their Mew VMAX with Cramorant and then just finish it off with Sableye. That's 3 prizes right there. Right? But I could still use Shiftry to knock it out. I think I'm gonna go with Sableye though. Oh, dude, we got a Mirage Gate. Okay. Got another Choice Belt. Can switch into, let's see what we can do here. Can use Cramorant the next turn. Still have 200 HP to this Mew VMAX. We need 4 more prizes. I think I'm just gonna go with Sableye. Set up another one. So we're just gonna use Lost Mine. I think I need to target one of their Meloetta. That's gonna get a Swarm prize and probably spread the rest of the damage to their Genesect V with energy. So that's 1 prize. We got Rare Candy again. Alright, we just need a Shiftry. They're gonna knock out my Sableye. And we are gonna lose that in the Lost Zone, but we need 3 more prizes. If they don't have any more, what they could do is put a Mew V on their bench, and then they can use its ability to shuffle their Mew VMAX back to the deck. But they're just gonna knock out my Radiant Venusaur. If we have Shiftry, we might be able to just knock out this Mew VMAX. So let's see. Maybe we'll get it on the top deck. We did not. Okay. Alright, we didn't. But that's alright. We can retreat back to our Cramorant. And we can deal a significant amount of damage. Dude, we can use Fantina. If we use Fantina, we can actually have 230, right? HP, sort of. Let's go ahead and use Ordinary Rod first. Get these grass energies in case. And then we can just start attacking with Shiftry. So I'm just going to use Spit innocently. So they need to hit for 230 damage to knock out my Cramorant. Let's see if my opponent can do it. They need a Power Tablet. And even if they use Meloetta's attack, they still need more damage. They need Power Tablet. No, they're just gonna attack with Melodious Echo. And our Cramorant survives, so we'll just finish it off. We just need 3 more prizes to win this game anyways. There it is, guys. Against the Mew VMAX build. Nice. Good game. Alright, let's move on to our next match. We get to go first again. Nice. And we get to start with 2 Comfays. Love to see it. Alright, looks like we're going against a Lost Zone deck as well. They have Colorless Experiment. And okay. We have our Bayonet line getting started already, so we might need this in this matchup, but they can just... What if they start setting up and get to attack with Sableye? They could just easily knock out our Manaphy, but that's alright. Just gonna use Escape Rope to be able to use Comfey. We're gonna save our Rare Candy, put this Grass Energy, and we're just gonna pass. Alright, so let's see who wins this matchup. Again, we have a disadvantage. We don't have Oranguru. Dude, they don't have anything to switch out their Comfey into another one. If we can get a Cramorant, we can actually just win this game by knocking out my opponent's Comfey. But can we get it? Let's go ahead and try and see if we can get a Cramorant. I'll go ahead and just sacrifice this. No, we didn't get it. No, we whiffed it. Anyways, we still need to switch out our Comfey to have been able to succeed in that. But let's just go ahead and get Nuzleaf and pass. Alright, that's really bad because now we won't be able to use Shiftry as much. Shiftry, I guess, is an option here. That's gonna help us put more cards in the Lost Zone, deal a high damage against our opponent, but really with a Lost Zone matchup, it really depends if they're using mostly single prize, or if they're using Giratina, then we'll have to use higher damage. But against a single prize Lost Zone box, we just need to keep up with the price exchange, basically. We're gonna scoop up. So again, we are at a disadvantage because, for example, my opponent can actually just use scoop up and keep reusing Comfey, but we don't have that luxury. And switching card is a good option if you're using mostly single prize, or basic Pokemon, but we have Bayonet and also Shiftry and their evolution types. So having that switching card is not always effective, or we won't be able to use it. So I just went with a regular switch. That's always an option, right? I'm gonna pivot into our other Comfey. My opponent knocks out our other one with Cramorant. Irida sounds good, actually. You can get a Cramorant finally, but I'm gonna go for Ordinary Rod. We don't have much recovery items in this deck, so I'm gonna go with that. And I mean, I could just recover Irida, but I'm gonna go for Judge for now and see where that gets us. Okay, we got a Quick Ball. Can probably get a Cramorant with this one. Let's see. Yeah. And then we can just switch out and then get rid of their Cramorant, right? Spit innocently. So now we're at a 1-1 prize exchange here. My opponent doesn't have any other attackers in their bench, so looks like we are safe for another turn, hopefully. And then let's see where that gets us. Bayonet is actually underutilized by a lot of players. It's actually a really good card. Not only does it put cards in your Lost Zone, that's an extra 2 cards in your Lost Zone, but it also recovers. So a lot of supporter recovery cards are going away in the rotation. Eldegoss V was actually used a lot way back when to recover supporter cards, but Bayonet is an alternative, but many people have not really looked into it. But I think it's a really great card, especially in the Lost Zone mechanic decks. So my opponent's just gonna continue to use their Comfey with the help of the Scoop Up Net, and they're stacking up their Lost Zone cards, and that makes it 7. I think they're able to use Mirage Gate at this point, but thankfully they can't use their Sableye just yet. And they're just gonna pass. Alright, that's good. Fantina, unfortunately, will not help against Sableye because it just spreads damage. It's an effect of an attack. So, and Fantina only works on V Pokemon. Do keep that in mind, guys. So it's not gonna increase your defense against any attack. It has to be like from a V Pokemon. So I'm gonna retreat into Cramorant, and man, I wish I could take care of that Sableye, but that's all right. Getting rid of this Comfey may just help us prevent our opponent from getting the cards they need in the Lost Zone. So if they don't have Colress Experiment to add more cards, we might be safe. They have Colress Experiment. All right, that adds 2. If they have Lost Vacuum, they can help out. But they have another Comfey, okay, and they have another switching card. They can start spreading damage with Sableye. So one good thing about this matchup so far is that we are ahead in prize, and that actually makes a big difference because it looks like my opponent is just focusing on a lot of single prize cards here. They have other cards, but I think they see that it's not gonna be useful here. They're gonna knock out our Cramorant now that they're able to use their Sableye, having 10 cards in the Lost Zone. Let's see what we got here. 5, so we have a long way to go. We have 6. So So this makes it 7. We have another Comfey. That's good. We have a bunch of Switch. So this will make it... Oh, Colress Experiment. Dude, we can actually make this. Cramorant sounds good, but I think I'm going to go for the Sableye attack. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we can use Bayonet to complete that 10. We're going to get our Ordinary Rod, Escape Rope, and we're going to rely on Sableye to spread damage here, guys. That's the only way. And we can't use our Comfey anymore, and this is where Bayonet comes in. Got Colress Experiment to recover. And yeah, now we can use our Sableye. There it is. Not too bad. So really, post-rotation, you can still stack those 10 cards in your Lost Zone so that you can use Sableye. And I think what I'm going to do here is just knock out the Sableye and put 4 on the bench. And what I'm trying to aim here is to get multiple knockouts, and that's gonna go a long way because my opponent also has Sableye. And if we can get ahead 2 prizes after this one, we are rocking, man. Because 12 damage counters is really dangerous. So now our Manaphy's in danger. It just needs 6, right? They can spread 6 more damage to our other Pokemon. Thankfully, we were able to evolve into Nuzleaf, and now they can't knock that out. And really, that's what they're counting on, is to spread damage so that they can get multiple knockouts. So we see that our opponent also has Raikou. So I think this is the usual Lost Zone box. But I think we are ahead here. Really getting ahead in the prize exchange makes a big difference. I think we might just win this game because of that. And they have another Sableye, so we can actually get 2 knockouts in our next turn. They get 1 knockout only in this turn because all of our Pokemon have high HP. They're gonna knock out my Sableye, but leave more damage to our Manaphy. Thankfully, we have Ordinary Rod to recover Sableye, and also Quick Ball to find it. So we can start. We can continue to attack with Sableye, get 2 prizes, get ahead in price again, and another Cramorant to recover. And we're just gonna focus on our Sableye basically, and then we can get a knockout with Cramorant if we need to as our last prize. But let's see. I don't want to use... I mean, I could use Avery, I guess. But that's fine. Let's go ahead and... Okay, we have access to 2 Sableyes, so we're actually looking good here. Let's go ahead and use Escape Rope. Alright, Comfey. That's fine. And then we're going to energize our Sableye. Knock out 2 of their Sableyes. I'm just going to use Colress Experiment and get these 3. Raihan will help us to accelerate energy if we need to, and find another card from the deck if we need to. So we're just going to use Lost Mine, finish off this other Sableye, and put the rest to this one. That's exactly 8 damage counters to knock out both Sableyes. That gets us 2 prizes, and really, that's it. We have this game in the bag, basically. My opponent can still attack with a Sableye, get 8 damage, and then finish off our Manaphy. So we are on an even playing field. This is still anybody's game, but we need to make sure that we can deal a knockout blow on our last turn to actually win this one. Because if we cannot attack on our last turn, that's going to be it. If they can scoop up their Comfey, we will not be able to knock out their Radiant Greninja. However, we might be able to knock out their Cramorant. So we still have an out here. We have a Quick Ball that we can use. But we also have access to Raihan, which is really great. And that actually can set up for a Shiftry. So it doesn't matter if they put a high HP Pokemon in play. Hopefully, we have what it takes to knock out a V Pokemon if we need to. Because we have Choice Belt. We can use that on Shiftry to add more damage and still get a knockout. They can use Lost Vacuum. Alright, there's really no need. Well, they don't need really the Choice Belt because we're not using any V Pokemon. Scoop Up Nets. Okay, I think they're really trying to dig for something that they need here. They're down to their last card in their deck. There's the Oranguru. Okay. What are they looking for, man? No more Scoop Up Nets. Oh, Ordinary Rod probably. Can you imagine if that was buried on the very last card of their deck? That can happen, man. But thanks to the Oranguru, they were able to get that out and are just getting their Sableye out of there. Fog Crystal, okay. That's to get their Sableye. And they probably have a switching option here. They can knock out my active and also my Manaphy. Okay, Escape Rope. Really nice. Really nice approach there. So my opponent's still in this. They're just going to knock out my Manaphy, so I might as well just put it in the active. And they will knock it out. So 2 damage counters on Manaphy, 8 on Sableye, and 2 on our Nuzleaf. Okay. Either way, I think we got this. It doesn't really matter. We can just get Sableye and then finish them off that way. But yeah, we can actually just use Shiftry to win this game. But let's just make sure we have one in the deck. But we can also just use Sableye here. Let's go ahead and use Raihan. Yeah, we got this in the bag, but hey, let's get out of here with style by using Shiftry to attack and knock out their Sableye for our last prize for the win. Wow, okay, there you have it, guys. Lost Zone. Alright, moving on to our next match. We get to go first again. Nice. Always start with Comfey if you have it in your hand, but we have a bunch of basic Pokemon. We have C-Dot, and we can evolve into a Shiftry in our next turn. Looks like we're going against a Darkrai VSTAR matchup. And this is actually a... we have an advantage. Type advantage, because Darkrai is weak against grass. I'm going to sacrifice 1 Mirage Gate. And we're gonna switch into another Comfey. Okay, I'll get the grass. That way we can attack next turn. And if they don't have any other Pokemon to set up, we can actually just knock out their Darkrai V for the win. We just have to retreat our Comfey. But our hand is looking good. We have 4 cards, but you know what? That's enough, man. So we have 2 cards in the Lost Zone so far. We can add 2 more with Colorless Experiment. That's 4. Plus 3 with Shiftry after we attack. And we're actually guaranteed a knockout on our next turn after we get our Comfey out of the active spot. So my opponent doesn't attack yet. I'm going to evolve into Shiftry. And what's nice about this build is that a lot of our attackers either only require 1 energy or not at all with Cramorant. So I'm going to use their Pokestop. We got a Level Ball. And let's see, I can set up Sableye. We're almost there anyways. That's going to put some fear in our opponent. Use Colorless Experiment. Manaphy, I don't think we need as much here. Fantina, we might be able to use because they are using a V Pokemon. Miltank, we could use... let's see. Should I say I feel like we can block a lot of hits with that, but I'm gonna go without it, guys. I'm gonna live dangerously. So with the Choice Belt in Shiftry, on Shiftry, that will actually go into Lost Zone as well. So we get a knockout against their Darkrai V, and yeah, Let's go and get our prizes first. We get 2 for that, a switch, and a grass energy. So now we have 6, 7, 8, 9. So 1 more, and then we can use Sableye and start spreading damage. But of course, Cramorant can also attack for free. Yeah, this Shiftry build is actually not half bad. I feel like if you are gonna go post-rotation with a Lost Zone build, just invest in like a Shiftry in your deck, just so that you can get a lot of cards while hitting for 200 plus damage and get a bunch of Bayonets. And you can still put some random card, I mean not random, but maybe something that will help you get through some meta decks and then still win that way. Lugia is still weak against Lightning, and a lot of the special energies are rotating out anyway, so Lugia is definitely gonna get nerfed. And I don't know, maybe people will not use it anymore. Maybe they're just gonna use it for its ability for getting Archeops in play. I mean, there are still some special energies that could be accelerated, but powerful energy is rotating out, and that's gonna prevent Lugia VSTAR from dealing one-hit knockouts against VMAXs. So there's really a lot of things that's happening post-rotation, and one of them is the Lost Zone engine with the loss of Oranguru and also Scoop Up Net. So, but this just demonstrates how good it can still be. You know what I mean? Yes, I'm using Shiftry, but maybe remove 1 or 2 cards and you can still put something that can, again, face off against some of the top tier meta decks. Alright, we got a C-Dots. Let's go ahead and use our Comfey. We got Bayonet. And then we're not... I mean, I could put a damage... 110 damage will not knock out their Galarian Moltres. I'm going to use Fantina for now. Maybe we can tank a hit here. Put a Grass Energy on C-Dot, and then I'm just going to spit innocently. 1 damage. I can use Sableye to put 1 damage counter on this Moltres later on. Get a cheeky knockout that way. So it's really up to my opponent what they want to do. Unless they're going to scoop it up and revive it. But that's what I'm going for. That's my strategy. I'm just going to hit 410 damage. Yes, we didn't get a knockout, but maybe later on we might be able to get that 1 prize that we need to win the game. They're going to boss my C-Dot though. They see the danger with that. We only have 5 cards in the Lost Zone so far. So, or no. We have a lot more than that. I was looking at the discard pile. But yeah, I think we got this. We can still set up another Shiftry line if we need to. Okay, they're gonna put their Darkrai VSTAR in the active spot. Dark Patch. Darkrai VSTAR can be good, but it's just very beatable in my opinion. It takes a long time. It takes a few turns before you can really build up the energy, and they're only hitting for 90 damage because of Fantina. However, it was enough to knock out my C-Dot, unfortunately. But it is what it is. I'm gonna go ahead and try set up another Shiftry line. Or actually, we might not. We already have both Shiftrys in the Lost Zone, so I don't know if that was a good idea. Let me use Judge. Alright, we got Radiant Venusaur. And now we can use Sableye, but first we can soften up this Darkrai VSTAR. We get to draw 2 extra cards with Radiant Venusaur. So we need 4 prizes. If they can lay down 1 more low HP Pokemon, we might be able to knock out 2 of them. knock out their Galarian Moltres, their baby Moltres, and then get another knockout with Sableye. But as it is, so this Darkrai V still has 160. We can actually use Radiant Venusaur to get a knockout here because we are hitting for weakness. We have Mirage Gate. We might be able to get 2 prizes. We have Mirage Gate attached for turn and still be able to attack with Radiant Venusaur. But yeah, we have double the advantage here because, first of all, we are getting multiple prizes when we knock out their V Pokemon, whereas my opponent only gets 1 prize at a time. And that's why you shouldn't really underestimate single prize builds. There's a lot of potential to single prize builds, and the Lost Zone mechanic, or the Lost Zone box, actually is a threat to the whole competitive scene. So never underestimate single prize builds. Yeah, the V Pokemon and the future EX Pokemon will have a lot of HP, but they will lose more than 1 prize in the process. So you gotta consider that as you build your decks. And the EX, some of them are stage 1, stage 2, so it's gonna be a lot harder for them, for your opponents, or even you, to set those up. So it basically puts it on even grounds against other single prize builds that you have to set up just the same. Alright, so my opponent gets a knockout against our C-Dot there. They're definitely afraid of those Shiftry lines, but that's alright. We have Cramorant to attack for free. And let's see what we can do here. We can use Ordinary Rod to recover these 2 C-Dots. Grass Energy and Psychic Energy. Use Mirage Gate. Accelerate it on Venusaur so we can attack with it if we need to. And don't fall for that Pokestop traps, guys. Your opponent puts it there because they want you to use it. But we're gonna use it. We got an Ordinary Rod. Alright. Yeah, I hate it. It's really there to trap you, man. Just gonna spit innocently. Deal another 110 damage against their Darkrai VSTAR. They might knock out our Cramorant, but we can get 3 prizes in the next turn. We can... So this Darkrai VSTAR only has 50 HP left, plus 1 on that Galarian Moltres. And then we can spread 6 more damage to one of their other Pokemon. Most likely... I mean, I could spread it on... Oh, dude, they're going to switch our Sableye. No, that's not good. We actually need that to spread the damage, but without it, we are in trouble. Okay, But you know what? That's all right. We can attack with Venusaur. We can get 2 prizes against this Galarian Moltres V, because we are hitting for weakness. Galarian Moltres V is also weak to grass, so let's go ahead and put our Radiant Venusaur in the active spot. We got Colress Experiment. Might be able to draw into... Ooh, a Quick Ball. Alright. Serena sounds... I think we could actually use Serena here, in case they retreat or something. Let's put these 2 C-Dots, and then we're gonna attack, knock out their Galarian Moltres V. Use Ordinary. Let's just go ahead and use Pollen Hazard. 180 damage plus Burn and Poison. That will knock it out. There it is. If you haven't seen Radiant Venusaur in action, well, here it is, guys. It fits in perfectly in the Shiftry Lost Zone box. We got a Sableye, and that's gonna guarantee our win in the next turn. You can just spread those damage against their Darkrai VSTAR and also their Galarian Moltres. We only need 2 more prizes, so that's it. Dude, oh man. If they can put 2 water energies on this Radiant Greninja. But I doubt they're using any water energies in their deck. So I feel confident that they're not going to be able to use Radiant Greninja. But if they don't have anything to get 2 prizes this turn, we win the game. Although we can't use Sableye because our bench is full. I guess I can just continue to attack with Radiant Venusaur. I could do that. But that's pretty much it. Yeah. Yeah, that's we got this game in the bag, guys. And there you have it. I think this is a nice showcase of what it can mean without those quintessential cards that we were so used to up till now. So when the Lost Zone box or some of the essential cards like the Scoop Up Net, Oranguru, even Birdkeeper is rotating out. So even without those, you can still pilot a Lost Zone build and still win a lot of games. So here it is, guys. We are going to finish this off with Sableye, and we're just going to use Lost Mine to spread damage between these two Pokemon to win the game. And there you have it, guys. You've seen it yourself. The Lost Zone engine is still pretty much alive even post-rotation. And that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please don't forget to smash the like button for me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching the Popsicleknight channel, and as always, stay safe and have a great day.